We're live.
Yes,
I
great.
got hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Fantastic.
welcome to the preview of episode 56, which is Maeterlinck's Organic Engineering. This follows up on one of our most impressive programs, which was the loss of the poster in the public realm, which was quite amazing. It's actually getting some really good attention. Anyway,
Yeah.
we have some news. Julie, you want to tell them?
We do. We, myself, Julie Rauer, and my co-founder of Art Science Complex, Bruce Gemmel,
And
also-
Art Science Complex.
and Art Science
All three of us.
Complex, yes, also known as Brucey Claus. We
God bless us all, everyone.
should I say?
God bless us all, everyone.
All right, I'm going to make the announcement now. Are we
Mhm.
done, Tim?
Maybe.
Okay. We were interviewed on television, and it was broadcast on Monday at 10 in the morning on BronxNet television and rebroadcast 3 times yesterday. Will be broadcast tomorrow, will be broadcast on Saturday. You can also stream it. The show is open with Dr. Bob Lee, the venerable and excellent WBLS radio host for half a century, and now a good friend and colleague of Art Science Complex. He really is a champion of our work, and we would like to thank Dr. Bob Lee and his producer, Stephen Powell, and his team at BronxNet for being so welcoming to us. They were so professional. We've seen the show, of course, and it is amazing. And it is a 15-minute in-depth interview with us of a substantial length.
Yeah, it was. It was actually really impressive. I was kind of like, and you know what? It was interesting, I guess, because we do what we do. And we kind of talk sometimes. We kind of found it looked pretty natural. In fact, most of the people said, "Hey, you know what, you guys? This is something you guys do." And Julie was just phenomenal. I mean, she kind of like pretty much did all the talking and made all the points. I just kind of sat there and smiled. But which is probably the way it should be.
You were the opening lead.
Yeah.
You actually made all the opening.
That's true. But I mean, it was fun. They liked us. They offered an opportunity if we wanted to come back. They talked to and I think that they'll basically be friends and colleagues. We also met a gentleman, George Nunez, who
seemed really
Bronx
wonderful.
Tech Hub,
and
there's
a plug.
There's a plug there, George. George is a fascinating guy. He's an intense guy. He's kind of trying to bring, tech to the Bronx because it seems as if, it's really incredibly underrepresented. And he's got the intention of doing it. And, take one look at George, you realize like, if he sets his mind to it, he sets his mind to something, he's going to get it done.
Anyway, we digress.
But we always digress.
Anyway, I would like to also say I was delighted with the incredibly smooth, articulate, and professional production of the show. We saw it, and it was just wonderful. They actually chose a bunch of your models, our drawings, and several of my paintings, and featured them interspersed as stills while we were being interviewed. So you can actually see some selections, about half a dozen pieces chosen by either Bob and or Stephen, the producer, during our interview. It was just really well produced.
God bless us all, everyone.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Anyway, so I think what was good was that they really kind of got at the essence of what we're about. And I think one of the things that was said, what I think Julie said, which is very eloquent, is that like we create this artificial separation between art and science, when in fact the cause and effect and the nature are the same. It's just that we use different tools. I mean, Julie's book, Bezoar Thirst, is a perfect example of the fact that sometimes the imaginary world, or the world of the fantastic world that's imagined, or the one that's created as a result, right? One by maybe a mathematical equation, one basically by a kind of physical kind of inductive reason, or one by a paint, or one by a kind of series of brushstrokes, creates the idea of something that is possible. Now, which possibilities become reality, which actually give us a deeper understanding of nature, is really up to the compelling nature of the formulation, but they are all the same. And I think that's the thing that hopefully we're getting kind of across. I mean, the reason why we do this is so that, I don't see myself as an architect. Julie doesn't see herself as a painter. We just see ourselves as kind of, like Julie's term, speculists. We explore in the nature of ideas. And Julie may use a brush. I may use a pencil. Someone else may use a microscope. Someone else may use, kind of beakers and test
And
tube,
petri dishes.
exactly. But we're looking for the same thing. And in fact, what was interesting was I kind of by chance found that similar kind of recitation by Whitehead in the Century of Genius, where he talks about the idea of the careful observations of the naturalistic artist, in this case referring to people like Leonardo da Vinci, who of course was my inspiration as the beginning of the century of science and the century of genius and the scientific revolution. Anyway, so with that said, we will probably be able to kind of put the social media stuff up soon if we're going to figure it out. The stuff from the show.
Oh, it's actually an entire clip of the segment that includes our interview.
We'll try to post it so people can watch
it. We are definitely going to post our segment that runs about 15 minutes on our Art Science Complex YouTube channel. So tune back in. We should probably try to post it after this.
Or not tonight.
Okay.
Too much.
We'll post it soon.
Yeah. God bless us all.
Why don't we get to our point?
Basically, Maeterlinck's Organic Engineering. This is the title. And what it is, it's like key observations from organic architecture. Julie and I were talking yesterday about my impulses in terms of how I led myself in this direction from, my interest in Frank Lloyd Wright, Bruce Goff, and some of Bruce Goff's students, and through the impulse in an organic American architecture.
And we're enjoying a teased tea.
Teased tea. But what happened was later on, one of the things that was actually a very kind of strong, kind of image was the work of Maurice Maeterlinck. One of those great books was The Life of the Bee. And
another one
is The Double Garden.
And this is my treasured
we love this book edition. So much. We both have our own copy.
I got you one for Christmas, and you got me one for Christmas, right?
In keeping, I'm going to do as I always do. Oh yeah, show that.
Actually, it's a birthday.
All right. And key important thing here. The Portrait of a Lady, right? To my truest love, the Portrait of a Lady, Julie Rauer, with all my love. Happy birthday on 5 October 2006.
Yay.
Okay. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to read that piece.
Oh, great.
Because I think this is kind of gives an insight into the nature of the vivid nature of the character with which Maeterlinck writes.
Let me put it in context. This was written in 1904.
Okay.
No, that's really important.
Right, which is a year before Einstein's 5 groundbreaking papers. So it's around that time of incredible brilliance.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of brilliant people around at this moment.
Certainly were.
Around her.
Conan Doyle. Sorry.
God bless us all.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay.
Around her summit, reason, the purest that can illuminate a being, keeps watch. But it displays only the grace and not the effort of light. Nothing appeared to me colder than reason until I had seen it thus play around the brow of a young woman, like the lamp of the sanctuary in the hands of a laughing, innocent child. The lamp leaves nothing in the shade, but the harshness of its rays does not pass the inner circle of life, whereas their smiles beautify all that they touch without. Now, I just saw something that reminded me of something. Go back to this.
Sure.
Yes, it displays only the grace and not the effort of light. One of the things we've come to say is that simple is not easy, and it's incredibly difficult. A lot of times people will say, oh, it's a beautiful drawing, it's a beautiful painting, it's so much great to be talented. But what they don't realize is it's only made to look easy. There's a tremendous amount of effort. I mean, somebody can make something look easy that other people will stumble to be able to even kind of do in a rudimentary way.
Because they are experts at it.
Exactly.
And experts make it look easy.
So something that appears simple or masterful is not always it's easy to come to say like, oh, that's simple, let me try it. And I always love to let people try it, because then they realize, oh, this is not easy at all. It's like, no, it's not. But I think that's the kind of thing, is that in that case, he talks about the fact that there is in the female imagination, at least in this portrayal, an idea of a kind of like innocence that allows for an ease with which one can demonstrate light. And Leonardo also talks about light as that which illuminates the hidden secrets of nature. So with that said, right, Maeterlinck was for us, right, when we discovered him, the epitome of a writer beyond the sense of literature, in this case, talking about science in a way that was as deeply profound and moving in terms of its discoveries as it was in terms of its kind of beauty. So in that case, I mean, I remember that was where this was moving for me. And then I realized as time goes on, this gets entwined into the network of ideas for me. So.
Yes, I would like to point out what was written by Maeterlinck about women, about the complexities of women, the depth of women, the incredible intelligence, imagination, and fortitude of women, was written in 1904 and was leaps and bounds more progressive, more accurate, and more, how should I say, actually really level-headed than anything that's been written since. I mean, it is a testament to the fact that certain men, very, very few, recognized women as their equals. You have a little tick in your stomach? In 1904. And if you read things like, and I'm just going to say, if you've ever tried to read a John Updike book, he was just a raging sexist piece of misogynistic garbage. I mean, I had somebody push at a book club The Witches of Eastwick down my throat, and that is just one of the worst
That's horrible
pieces of garbage. And I mean, there were many people writing who were just absolutely, how should I say, just, really hated women, didn't understand them, and didn't give women any kind of opportunity to work or function or create anything. Maeterlinck was the polar opposite and set a standard that I think really hasn't been equaled by too many people, men or women. He had an enormous insight into the human character, male as well as female, as well as the character of plants, of objects in nature, of the animal mind. He was an incredible thinker and philosopher and a polymath of the highest order. He was a playwright, an opera librettist. He was a hymenopterist. And I will not use the word amateur because you don't have to be paid to be a professional. His seminal work that Bruce just showed you, the Life of the Bee, is still a reference today.
Right. Actually, let me read this.
Yeah,
this is from Aims of Education. Except at rare intervals of intellectual ferment, education in the past has been radically infected with inert ideas. This is the reason why uneducated, clever women who have seen much of the world are in middle life so much more cultured, the cultured part of the community. They have been saved from this horrible burden of inert ideas. every intellectual revolution has ever that has ever stirred humanity into greatness has been a passionate project against inert ideas. Then, alas, with pathetic ignorance of human psychology, it proceeds to become that very same thing. So, in this case, he understands the nature and ease of the feminine mind in its adventure and intellect, to be able to kind of like command reason in a way which is just so much more poetic, so much more latent with potential. Unfortunately, that's not what this program will deal with.
It should be.
We can work it in.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, what this is basically is going to talk about the way in which Maeterlinck and his kind of knowledge of the organic architecture that exists has been an influence on both of us, primarily me in terms of the idea of organic design thinking. Okay, so any last words? Because we were like, look at this, it was like it's a quarter of the time.
Yeah,
but we had a good introduction.
And we also had to talk about our television appearance.
Agreed.
Which is really important. And okay.
God bless us all.
Okay.
Everyone.
Let me get this in here.
Merry Christmas. Actually, next week we'll be on Christmas Eve.
Great. Okay, Tim.
And God bless us all. Everyone.
If I may.
If you may.
So the profound influence that Maeterlinck's thinking and writing has had on my work. Mm-hmm. I'm also a writer. Most people are less familiar with my written work, but more familiar with my drawings and my paintings.
Or your spun work.
Or my spun work. It's all gold.
Mm-hmm.
But as a science painter and one who visualizes the scientific metaphor, the naturalist essays that Maurice Maeterlinck wrote, everything from Our Friend the Dog, The Temple of Chance, In Praise of the Sword, Death in the Crown, Universal Suffrage. He was pleading for universal suffrage in 1904.
I don't think
if that tells you anything, no.
God bless us all.
The Modern Drum. I'm going to pound you.
Ow. Oh, I got to read that. I'm going to read it tonight.
The Foretelling of the Future. I need a moment. In an Automobile. News of Spring. The Wrath of the Bee. Field Flowers. One of the greatest.
That is brilliant. Yeah.
Naturalist essays ever written. One on chrysanthemums, and the second greatest, Old-Fashioned Flowers. Mm. So, and then one on sincerity, and I will say that one of the qualities of people I like least is insincerity. And that is a word you don't even hear much. No. So, and then Portrait of a Lady and The Leaf of Olive, and I will leave it at that. With all those tempting morsels are the titles of Maurice Maeterlinck's essays in the Double Garden. And I urge you to find a copy wherever you can.
Right. You found these at the Strand.
I did. Huh. And if we didn't own two, I would say go to the Strand.
Right, exactly. But we already have two.
Yes.
And if we could, we'd get three.
Yeah, I
like a spare copy.
Just
like a neutral copy. A neutral copy. I like that. Yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot going into this. I'm excited about it. I hope we actually who knows, it may actually become a two-part, because as I think so much it's going on, because it's kind of Maeterlinck is a key figure. I'd say maybe after Van Gogh is probably the biggest figure that we kind of share. I think Van Gogh is probably the first. I lean more heavily towards Leonardo than you do, but he's an influence of both. You would probably lean more towards like Miro or Ernst, Clay. Definitely, yeah. But again, I think in a common, Dali. I think in a common sense, we would say Bruce Goff, Frank Lloyd Wright, Absolutely. Van Gogh, and Maeterlinck. There's probably others, but those are the key ones. I think Maeterlinck.
Barbara Stanwyck. Yes. We both love Barbara Stanwyck.
Yes.
And Myrna Loy.
Okay. So that's it for now. On Sunday, we will see that. And, we'll be ready to kind of present the program. Also, to our friend, Mr. Spock, we did look across your words, and
yes,
it was very vivid. And we want to
poem.
talk more specifically about it.
Yes.
So I had some questions, but also had some. But it was an enjoyable piece with your poem, and
it was rich with imagery.
It really was. It was actually very vivid.
Yes,
it very was. I mean, not that I was surprised, but I mean, you know, I think that it was. It had a kind of like, there were some pieces that were kind of quite subtle.
It was hung thick with atmosphere.
Oh, I like that. Okay, yes, so the realm of ideas is free to all, my friends, and it is to the benefit of all for us to keep it just this way.
Precisely.
Oh, I love that.